Happy Flip Friday, everybody. Oh, what do you got? Looks yummy.
My breakfast.
Have a bite?
No, it's okay. It's a good cereal. It's really yummy.
Cereal for breakfast, yeah. What's the matter? Am I too close to you?
Hi guys, happy Flip Friday. Michelle and Jeremy here. So we're actually
Couples flipping houses.
Yes, we're actually in our house having my breakfast. The reason we're doing this today,
Oh, breakfast.
it is now, is because we are going to be talking about a wholesale that was already sold, and we've been so busy we didn't have a chance to get into the house to do the video before it sold. And Jeremy said, well, why don't we go there today? And I was like, well, you're going to be sitting down with them at their breakfast, so that probably wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah, and I love cereal, but I don't know if they had cereal this morning, so, I thought it was just a safer bet to go here.
Yes.
Here, let me move out of the way, give you some space.
Okay, and I can have my coffee, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we going to talk about this particular
We
wholesale?
are going to give them a little reason why we broke down this property into a wholesale as far as our exit strategy.
All right.
This here, show you a picture here. This is a townhouse in London Derry, New Hampshire. We've actually flipped quite a few of these over the years, so we have a lot of experience with this. These properties. So, when we got this property under contract a few months ago, I'm going to give you guys the breakdown of how it all happened. We really were thinking, like, what should we do? Should we flip it?
Right.
Should we keep it as a rental? Should we wholesale it? The numbers were really tight, but I felt like we could make some money some way, somehow. And we never want to be a deal maker. We're a deal finders. And this was still a deal, but it was really close. And a lot of the problem is that this condo association is known to have a lot of special assessments. Since we've had experience with flipping houses there in the past, we know that they're really unexpected, and some of them have lasted like 2 years. They're putting the money to great use there, but it still really skews the numbers. And some of those special assessments, at least this last one, was almost 2 years at $200 per month. So, from a cash flow perspective, that could be pretty significant. So I'm just going to give you a little laydown on how this property happened to begin with.
All right.
So we got it from a marketing piece from one of our letters, and we actually got this lead it started back in December of 2018. Now think, we're in December 2020, so 2 years. Follow-up, right? So we actually got the deal under contract going back and forth with them in June of 2019. So it actually took us about 6 months or so of working with them, talking, nurturing the lead until we got it under contract. Then I didn't like the contract. The special assessment was there. We tried to look at holding it as a rental at that time. It didn't work. We had it under contract for $135,000. Okay, the ARVs, we just flipped the property just around that same time. Maxed out were maybe 185 if you got lucky on a bidding war.
180, yeah.
Yeah, 180 was pretty much the number we needed to be at. So there really wasn't much room to go, although this house was actually in good shape. It just needed some cosmetic. They had a really nice tenant in place, Section 8 tenant, and took good care of the property, took pride in the property. But to get it to flip level, it still needed some good money to get it there. And it just didn't make sense. I didn't want to flip a project for 10 grand if we're lucky. Then again, with the rentals, we're looking at the numbers. We just couldn't get it to cash flow after refinancing and everything else.
Really tempting with these ones.
Yes.
I think every time we have acquired one of these townhouses, we've rerun the numbers because it would be a great rental, but the numbers just didn't make sense.
Yeah, on the terms that we got for our loans, we determined that it would probably be somewhere around $400 to $450, net cash flow per month, which sounds really good, right? But when they slap you with a special assessment of $200, $250, now you're looking at $200 to $250 net cash flow per month, which still sounds great in theory until you have to replace a water heater or a furnace, and then you have a whole property where it makes nothing for the year. So it just didn't really intrigue us enough to really go down that road with it, and we really wanted to. So I ended up canceling the contract. Guy was upset. I'm like, the numbers don't work. Sorry, we'll move on. Randomly enough, this guy kept in touch with me. He had my cell phone number, kept texting me. Actually, he did more of the follow-up than I did on this one. But we kept in touch.
That's what happens when you develop good rapport, though,
yes,
right?
Yeah, and I was honest with him, and we explained why. He really wanted to go with a cash buyer. He had his own reasons, and it was just a matter of time. So go by a whole nother year. Guess who calls me and says, hey, listen, are you still interested in buying a property? I'm like, yeah, I am, but I can't do it at those numbers. So going back and forth, we were only able to get it for $7,500 less. We ended up getting under contract in July of this year, 2020, of $127,500. We closed on it 2 weeks later, the end of the July 31st, and then we started the eviction of the tenant process. Again, we reviewed the numbers, keeping it as a rental, just didn't make sense. So we looked at it as another flip. Numbers for the ARVs in since 2019 haven't really gone up significantly enough to make it worthwhile. So wholesale it was, right? So we knew there was some money to be made there, albeit not a lot, but we could turn something or nothing into something. And that's what we did, right? So we listed it, we basically went in there, we painted a couple rooms, we placed flooring on the first level, probably put a couple thousand into it, nothing major, and then listed it in October 2020. We closed on it with the end buyer in November 19th, 2020, so just a few weeks ago. It was a 4-month process from start to finish. You know how much money we made? A whopping $15,000. That's it. It wasn't a great deal. And it's, in a baseball analogy, baby, it's a single. We hit some singles, we hit some home runs, we hit some doubles and triples. This was a single. If we weren't able to take this property down with private lending, which we are, thankfully, we would have not been able to wholesale it because there's definitely no meat on the bone.
Right.
And we wouldn't have been able to flip it because there was really not enough. I don't want to flip a project for, 30, 40, 60 days, 30, 45, 60 days only to make $15K, because if something goes wrong, then you basically flip the property for nothing. It was too close.
For error there.
For a wholesale, we didn't really have much invested, even with some concessions on the back end. We would have still made something. So yeah, gross profit of $15K for that. 2 years to make $15K. When you're a wholesaler that's just doing these by yourself and not running a business or team, that is a pretty good deal. But for us as a business, it's not great, but we just added to the pile. We had a great quarter, so it all helps out. Paid our team, our acquisition manager got some good commission. Our disposition, our investor, yeah. Our lender made $6,000 for letting us borrow money for 4 months. How is that for a good return on investment?
Sure is.
I don't think he's making that in the stock market. So, that is definitely a big win. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to share that. We're sharing some before and after pictures as well as we talk here right now, some of the stuff, but there's really minimal before and after pictures because we really didn't do that much.
And it's just another example of why we have a lot of different exit strategies, because $15,000 is better than zero, right?
Yeah,
so
it is.
And it's add into the mix. And
Yep. So that's it for today. I'm actually going to finish our breakfast while we get back to work. But hey, thank you for watching us. We'll see you soon, guys. Couple flipping houses, Instagram, Facebook, I don't know, everywhere else.
You can find us wherever. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.